So, guys, today we're going to talk about Day Game Ninja. Now, Day Game Ninja is all about being a ninja during the day. What do you mean by that? Ninjas are stealthy, ninjas are super powerful, and ninjas always get what they want. They move in, they strike their target, and they leave, and everybody's freaking out. Everyone's like, wow, how did the ninja do that? It's because ninjas are awesome, okay? We're going to make you awesome at meeting women and talking to them during the day. Literally, day game. Gaming people during the day. So you can go up to the most beautiful girl in the middle of the street, and you can talk to her, and you can bust out your ninja skills. Next thing you know, you've got the girl's phone number, you've got her agreeing to go on a date with you, she's smiling, she's laughing, she's giggling, and you've managed to secure a date with her without anyone knowing. I like to think of it like this. If you want a visual representation, if you imagine some guy walking down the street, he suddenly stops and starts talking to a girl, if there was a video camera filming what was going on, and you watch that video camera, you'd be like, oh, that guy is hitting on that girl. You'd be able to see it. With Day Game Ninja, if you look at the video, it would just look like a surveillance video. And you wouldn't see what anyone's doing. You'd be like, oh, everyone's just going about their ordinary day. And somewhere in that video, someone would be getting someone's phone number and securing a date, but you wouldn't be able to see it. And that is the aim. That's what you're going for. You want to make it so you just kind of blend in. People don't really notice what's going on. Now, of course, you are going to get the phone number, so I'm going to stick out a bit, but the idea is that it's so soft and under the radar that they can't tell what's going on. Now, I'll give you an example about this. There's going to be a lot of these kind of things, trying to help you guys with the concept. Me and one of my instructors were going through an airport literally 2 days ago. And as we were going through the airport, we were talking about the situation one of our friends is in with the girl. And we were having this long discussion about the girl and about what was going on. And the girl was kind of not a very nice person. She's basically cheating on her boyfriend with that friend, didn't tell her friend she had a boyfriend, and now is telling the boyfriend that she cheated on him, and the boyfriend is threatening the guy. So the whole thing is kind of really messy. And it was all created by the girl because she lied to both of them. She lied to her boyfriend, she lied to this guy, and she created the situation. So we were talking about how it's horrible how some women do that to people and it's not a very nice thing to do. The girl in front of us was overhearing our conversation, and we could spot that she wasn't exactly happy about it. For whatever reason, it obviously offended her and she didn't like the way that we may be talking about this girl. And we both spotted, because we're both instructors, that she was about to say something. So the minute we did that, we altered the conversation. And we made it about a girl that we know very well, who's really rude and really horrible, and she's a thief, and we added all this other false information that made the girl sound really bad. And what happened was, because we added that, the girl in front of us didn't really know whether she should join in the conversation. Because now this girl wasn't just somebody who lied and cheated, she was somebody who, she was a thief, and she was a criminal, and she had all these other things that weren't true, which made it very hard for her to sympathize with her now. Whereas before, I'm going to assume that she was going to defend the girl for cheating, maybe say, well, maybe the boyfriend was horrible, maybe he cheated first. I don't know what she was going to say. But the minute I painted the girl as being a really bad person in general, the other girl decided not to say anything because she realized that the situation was one that she didn't know the full effect of. Now, we said that without the girl actually saying anything. To an outside viewer, it would have just looked like a normal conversation was going on. But we altered the conversation in order to affect the other person's behavior. Now, we're going to talk a lot about affecting other people's behavior. Now, the way we're going to do it when it comes to talking to girls and attracting them, we're going to do it without lying. Now, of course, in that situation, we made up all these false stories. You're not going to be doing that. We're actually going to be getting you guys to alter their behavior without having to lie. And we're going to do that through a forced system of learning, which we're going to take you guys through and explain. So it's going to get very complicated. About halfway through the first subject, you're going to be looking at me and you're going to be thinking, I don't understand what's going on. And then at the end of it, it should all make perfect sense. So bear with me. If you've got any questions, we'll go over them at the end. Okay? Now, almost everything I teach is based on some very real psychological studies that have been done, or my own research. This is no exception. However, we're going to pull from a new source. We're going to be pulling from mathematics, specifically some basic areas of physics. Now, there's a reason for this, and as I said, it will become apparent. Try and bear with me. I'm going to be teaching in layman's terms. Okay, so this isn't going to be really high-in-depth physics that's going to blow your brain, but we're going to just take some simple concepts. So it may not be exact word for word in the descriptions that I'm using, so if any of you are physicians, if any of you are mathematicians, bear with me, I'm making it in layman's speak so everyone can kind of understand what's going on. We're going to start with something called game theory. Now, game theory is an attempt to analyze behavior through a system of mathematical formulas. Essentially what we're doing is we're looking at human behavior and we're trying to see if we can create a mathematical formula to understand why we make certain choices. Now that itself, if you don't know anything about it, is probably a really big concept or blow your brains. So we're going to try and come up with a situation so you guys can understand. And we're going to start with something called the prisoner's dilemma. Okay? This is a very simple concept in game theory. The prisoner's dilemma is this. There are two prisoners and they've both been arrested for doing a really horrible and heinous crime. They jaywalked. It's terrible, it's a really bad situation, and they both get arrested. Now the problem is, the police don't have enough evidence to actually fully convict them. Okay? So here's the thing. If they both stay silent, they're going to get 6 months. They're going to get 6 months because there was enough evidence to kind of put them at the scene of the crime, that they jaywalked, but not enough to confirm that they caused the crash that also happened. So they're going to get the 6 months for jaywalking, if they both stay quiet. Now, if one of them grasses up the other one, if one of them sort of like, so how do you guys call that?
Snitch.
A snitch.
Yeah.
One of you snitches, thank you. One of you snitches on the other one, then the other guy is going to get 10 years because he helped contribute to the crash. And you get to go free. Because you snitched, you confirmed it was the other guy, you were just jaywalking, they can let you go. All right, the jaywalking. You didn't cause the crash. You go free. Your friend can get 10 years. And they said the same to the other person. If they both snitch, they both get 5 years. They get reduced sentence for cooperating, but they still get 5 years. Okay? Now here's the problem. The prisoners are separated. And they don't know what the other one's going to do. Now, in the best scenario, what will happen is both prisoners will say nothing. They both get 6 months and they walk away. But the problem is you have no idea what the other person's going to say. And for you, the best scenario, personally, not counting your friend, is always the snitch. Because if your friend doesn't snitch and you snitch, you walk free. And if your friend does snitch and you snitch, you only get 5 years instead of 10. So whatever the situation is, snitching is better for you. Because if you don't snitch and your friend doesn't snitch, you get 6 months. And if you don't snitch and your friend does, you get 10 years. Both of those situations are worse than if you snitch. But the unique problem is, if you both snitch, you both get 5 years. So the mathematical formula, the game they play, is to try and calculate what decision should you make. And trying to understand how, if you play the game over and over again, if you put someone in that situation over and over again, what would you do? Would you play it differently? For example, if the first time you play, your friend doesn't snitch, and you don't snitch, then the next time you play, you both won't snitch. Because there's a precedent. The last time you played, you both didn't snitch on each other. You learn from the first game how to behave in the second game. Now, before we go into that too much, I want to explain why this relates to dating. And I think it's quite unique. I find that the prisoner's dilemma is almost identical to a situation between two people when it comes to dating. Explain why. When two people are dating, they have some pretty easy things. They've got a good choice or a bad choice. If both of the people like each other, they've both made what I call a good choice. Yes, I like you. Yes, you like me. We both like each other. They're in a happy place. The good choice in the prisoner's dilemma is if they don't snitch. That's a good choice. Don't snitch, we both end up in the best place we can possibly be. Now here's the thing. The bad choice is if both prisoners snitch. In a relationship, that's if both people don't like each other. I hate you. You're a horrible person. Well, I hate you. You're ugly. You have a very bad situation. Neither of you feels good about that. Now, in the prisoner's dilemma, if one does a good choice and one does a bad choice, one of you gets hurt really badly, and the other one gets away really well. Same in a relationship. If I really like the girl, I make a good choice. I like you, I want to be with you. And she makes a bad choice, I don't like you, I get hurt really bad. I make the good choice, but I get hurt most. You see how this works? It's a very similar kind of concept. The pattern is very similar. Now, what we wanted to do in the prisoner's dilemma is to try and trick or force or teach the prisoner to make a good choice. So that the ultimate outcome is one that's good for all of us. When it comes to dating,